Hey, I'm Sarah, and I'll be talking to you guys about the curriculum planning here at Aha Moments. Our curriculum is a teacher created and directed curriculum, and which means it was not purchased and ready made for you. It pretty much is just a layout, a curriculum map for the year, so that you have the dates, the weeks, the themes, the letters, the numbers, a literacy skill, a math skill, something that you can go off of, a good template for you to use to then create your own lesson plans. We feel that the creativity of the lesson plans is really what makes them meaningful for students, so we don't want to take that away from you. Each class is expected to have a weekly lesson plan, and that will have to be posted somewhere visible in your classroom. So one of your boards that's up, I would suggest posting one and printing one for you to use on the daily basis so that you can make sure you have everything, all your materials, so that you know kind of the flow of your day and what you want to do in each portion of your day. And you don't have to constantly go look on the board to remind yourself of what's coming next. So there may be some times that people come in your room and do some weekly walkthroughs. Therefore, we need to make sure we can see those lesson plans that are posted. There might also be a state visit here or there, and they need to be able to see those lesson plans as well. So just having them up there is very easy for us to be able to find them. Make sure that if we come through and we're looking at your lesson plans and we maybe have some ideas of ways that we can enrich your lesson plan or maybe something we can tweak to help you out, not to be offended. It's definitely all constructive criticism. We are all professionals and we just want everyone to do their very best. And we are constantly all learning of what makes kids tick and what's the best way to connect with them and reach them. So definitely don't be offended. It's just we all want to grow and make sure we're doing the very best we can for our kids. If you find that you're having a difficult time or you need some assistance and the curriculum map is great, but it's just not really helping you out in terms of ways to teach those things, we are readily available for you. I'll be making sure that I make visits throughout the center. If I can help you in any way, if I can help you plan, we can sit down and do that during nap time. I will make sure to have resources available for you that go with each theme. And if you aren't sure of how to use them, I will show you how to use them. Just different things that we can use to make sure that we're reaching each child, because not all children learn the same. And we want to make sure that we don't miss anybody. In the infant to toddler classrooms, we expect to see music and movement, some language practice, gross motor, fine motor, and definitely some art. In the 2s and 4s, kind of as they get older into more structured school-like environment, we'd love to see that math, reading piece, definitely some writing. Of course, that's going to look different in all classrooms. It's not going to look the same. There definitely has to be centers available for the kids to use. Those can be teacher chosen for them, and then also a time of the day where they can choose where they go for some free play. We definitely encourage morning work and review so that when they come in the morning, they can maybe have some free play time, but then to kind of gather them all up once everybody's arrived, do something at the table or a morning work or a review piece that they can all be working on before breakfast. The centers that are expected in each classroom should include blocks, dramatic play, books, art, puzzles, even a math or writing center. So of course, for my younger classrooms, that isn't necessarily going to be a typical thing to see, but using things like manipulatives, blocks, pattern blocks, little snap cubes, even in some of the younger classrooms, that's all math. It's all making them use their brain in a different way. So in a more math and engineering type way. So we want to see that in all classrooms. I definitely feel that some centers that are based around themes are really exciting for the kids because those things are going to be switched out weekly. So the kids won't get bored and it gives them something to look forward to or a new center to learn. Each week it makes it a little bit more exciting for them. The themes that we choose are basically chosen around the holidays that are happening or the seasons. For example, in the fall, we have an apple unit. We talk about pumpkins, Halloween, different things that you're going to see in that season that would make it a connection for the kids, things that they're going to want to learn about and be excited about. I recommend, just because it's nice to see where kids are coming from and nice to know where kids are going when you're teaching them, that vertical planning is something that can happen. It's not mandatory, but we definitely encourage it. What I mean is when it's nap time and you're planning for the next week, maybe once a month or once every other week, whatever you feel comfortable with, talk with a classroom before you, talk with a classroom after you, and see if there's a way that you guys can kind of plan together. Because if you can set up a good base for what these kids need to know when you have them, just think of what the next class can do with them and really push them forward in what they need to teach them. So it just helps in each class understanding what's before them, what's after them, and gives you guys a good idea of ways that you can really help build your kids' skills before they move on to the next class. All classrooms should be set up and arranged in a way that is a good aesthetic and a good organizational environment for the kids. Centers should be set up and labeled. Kids shouldn't really have to wonder where things are. In the beginning of the year, you definitely want to set those standards of the expectations that you have for the kids, and also set up a real consistent routine. And that's all done with an organized environment. That'll make it so much easier. If kids know where to go for the block center and the art center, and it kind of stays the same throughout the year, it's going to become something really flawless for them to do every day. The arrangement should take into consideration that you do need to have your eyes on students at all times. So with that being said, I wouldn't set up huge bookshelves in between centers where if you were sitting on this side of the room, you couldn't see a kid because he'd be behind a shelf on the other side of the room. You want to make sure that your eyes can be seen on them, or can be on them at all times, and that they can see you. This will just help with disruption and disruptive behavior, especially during center times. So just be sure that when you're setting up your room, which we can also help with, that you're having those things in mind. Even things like quiet center, so a reading center, you don't want to have that right next to dramatic play where kids are pretending and they're acting out and they're having fun and being silly, depending upon what the center is in that dramatic area at that point. Kind of keep those centers separated. Your center, where you might be pulling kids, don't sit right next to a busy manipulative block center where they're going to be building and things might be falling, because then the kids in your center might not be able to focus on you. So just think of those different things while you're planning the arrangement of your room. And that's something that at the beginning of the year, we all hands on deck, and we'd be happy to help you with. Other than that, I think that's it. And we will be talking about assessments next.